Well, jeepers! You're listening to Smash or Pass.
Hey everyone, welcome to another video on the JayBee and Milly channel. Today we're going to be reviewing the first one of the Scooby Doo show. So, you got it all together for a brand new show, JayBee?
Yeah, we literally did. Now, I guess I've got my bucket, I've got my duster. You know why? Because I've got some housekeeping to do.
Oh god.
So, I do realise that...
Wait, we don't have a bucket. What housekeeping are you doing?
What do you mean we don't have a bucket?
We don't have a bucket. How's that
What
part
do
of
you...
housekeeping?
We have got a bucket.
No, we
Who
don't.
doesn't have a bucket?
We don't.
Yeah, we do.
Where?
Like, we've got some... Okay, okay, I've got a wash basin. So you humiliated me in the pilot episode. So, I know that this visual that we're
Did
using...
you crash?
was never officially used in the... That's racist. In the... in the actual Scooby Doo show. See, this is awful. People are going to think we're so unfocused.
Just because you've been unprofessional.
This is kind of our rendition of it. We're most likely going to use this visual for the whole entirety of the Scooby Doo show. But again, we do need your help, so we are going to be reviewing Scooby Doo in High-Rise Hair Raiser today. But please do remind us, if you can, what the next episode's going to be, because I don't know if anything's been messed up on YouTube. It's a weird one.
I think it's the fresh Fiesta Hearst is Aztec Ghost.
Yeah, maybe. I agree, but that sounded like you had a stroke there.
It's a long title. Okay, JayBee, back to High Rise.
No, please, come on. This is actually a shambles.
Yeah, this is terrible. Okay, back to High Rise Hair Raiser.
It's Hair Raiser.
And you're going to give us a plot summary.
So, Mystery Inc. are struggling to make ends meet, and so they find an article in the newspaper advertising for jobs in a construction site. They meet the foreman of the construction site who employs Shaggy and Scooby, and Fred, of course, to go up into the scaffolding to do some maintenance and repair work. While there, they run into the geezer Ebenezer, who freaks them out, and it seems like something a bit mysterious is going on that could connect to the Ebenezer family tree. But what is that connection? Do we ever find out? We'll find out in this review.
Okay, so I guess we're starting off, as this is a new series, by talking about the introduction. I love the song.
It's my favourite, I think. Yeah. Apart from What's New. See, you know what? It was this and What's New, almost 50-50 watching time when I was a kid, because this was awesome. I
will admit, you know when we were watching, repeating of Where Are You? I didn't see a single episode and be like, oh, I remember that. Whereas there was a few bits of this where I was like, oh, I remember that. Do you know what I mean? And like physically excited about it, like, whoa.
Well, you said something really cool after this one. When we were going through the listing on YouTube, like, well, this is the first time we're not doing a DVD. This is all like YouTube purchases and stuff. But I was like, oh my gosh, there's the Gator Ghoul episode. I'm really excited for that. There's the Tar Monster. And I think you were like, oh, this is the first time we're looking at the future and going, oh, these are ones that I can't wait for. So I do think this is our first, maybe, good era in terms of excitement.
I'm excited. And ultimately, I think this is something just the song and everything succeeds in. It is like you say, like, what's new? It's energetic. It gets you ready for the episode. Whereas as much as, you know, Where Are You is iconic, it's very... Do you know what I mean? Like, very quite slow and sway.
Even seeing Scooby Doo in the opening. I love Scooby Doo.
But, like, think about how energetic this song is. Like you say, that, like, think about the music that plays when you see Scooby Doo. It's a higher tempo. You're more excited for the episode.
Yeah. And you can say the same for the new Scooby Doo movies, but I think I've got way more nostalgia on. I think this is a better song. In fact, did we even put this on our list? I'm sure we did when we did top 10s.
Certainly, I think we both did. Anyway, thoughts on animation? Any kind of upgrades here? I think perhaps the colouring on close-ups is better, but from a distance, things are pretty much the same.
I don't know. I don't think it's as ambitious, at least not so far, as the new Scooby Doo movies, in that they did all sorts there. But I think it's more... It's like an updated version of Where Are You, where they keep it creepy. Like, I don't think the new Scooby Doo movies weren't that creepy, but the tone of What's New was creepy, and I think they've kept that more consistently here. But like you say, I think with more detail I guess Scoob. But I don't know. I like the animation a lot. It's literally just like Where Are You? But I think a bit more polished. Almost like if they remastered it for an anniversary, like in 20 years or something. It's nice. It is nice.
No, I agree with you on all of that. Okay, so getting into the plot a little bit more then. It shows a building site and the Spectre. So, first things first, your thoughts on the Spectre?
I remember this guy a lot. I've got I've got loads of memories of watching this episode, but I think the thing that stuck with me the most was this monster. The thing is that I think it's a bit too goofy. Like, I first saw it and it reminded me of a weird rendition of the Green Goblin almost. Like, it seemed like something that Spider-Man would be fighting more than a Mystery Inc. villain. And obviously, you know me, I don't really like the humanoid villains too much. I think they do enough with this guy, like they build up enough lore that it makes sense why he's humanoid. Mm-hmm. But I think ultimately he just seems like a bit of a creepy bloke.
Okay, well, you were saying there about how that they were quite a prominent memory for you. I didn't actually remember the villain. What I remembered is just that metal structure. And you know, you get like Shaggy and Scooby on the top of it. I remember that so vividly, just thinking how scared I'd be to be them. Like, think about the health and safety on that. Like, they didn't have wires or anything. They were just on these metal bars that are like that thick.
Is that allowed?
And no, of course not. I just remember being petrified of the thought of being them in that situation.
Well, this is interesting because they go to these jobs because they don't have money, right? And this is the first time we see Mystery Inc. even talking about money. Like, there's been occasions, I think, where it's like, oh, there's loads of gold we've uncovered. Do you want some? No, we don't. So we get the impression that they're just, like, I guess a group of trust fund kids. But now they're, like, in some type of real scenario, right?
I mean, I know that I kind of noted, and I've never been this person, and I'm kind of disappointed in myself that I'm becoming this person. I noticed they weren't exactly flying any feminist flags.
Well, yeah.
Like, oh, here's a job for you guys, and girls go have fun.
Do the girls even get them? Like, do they get employed anywhere, or were they just snooping around alternatively?
No, they just go and, like, they come back and snoop around, but ultimately they just go to the library and research, right? They don't have a job.
See, why this place, though? Because
there was no experience required.
Really?
Yeah, that was part of the newspaper ad.
Oh, see, that would... I can't believe that. How much would they be getting paid for that? Because I don't think whatever they were getting paid was enough. Because that is some height with nothing. Oh, and they're, like, balancing as well. Oh, no. I couldn't imagine that.
No,
That's
I just
crazy.
remember it striking this fear into me. It's a weird part of the episode to remember, though, isn't it? Like, I just have this vivid memory of them walking on that metal frame.
I think I'd rather do what the girls are doing.
Yeah, me too. I guess I feel like perhaps by 1977 we should have some stroke of, like, feminist equality, the girls doing something to contribute.
What was the 70s? That was, like, Richard Nixon, wasn't it?
I don't know.
It was 4 years before the invention of the Walkman. Yeah. 70s is weird. I can't think about the 70s. I can think about the 80s because of, like, there's so many movies set in the 80s. I can't remember the last thing set in the 70s. But you're right, it's interesting.
Okay, so Shaggy and Scooby have to work on the top floor. They're not all working together, and the Spectre turns up while Shaggy and Scooby are up there. Quite formulaic. They're the first ones to see them.
Yeah. And again, like you say, there's actual chase sequences on this scaffolding thing.
It's terrifying.
It is. And I thought you were scared of
do you remember that
heights.
scene where Scooby just bounces?
Oh, God. I'm
it's
scared.
like he bounces
heights.
backwards round a corner. I was like, you can't do that.
And there's, like, covering the faces with buckets and stuff. That's where our bucket went. They stole it. But it's ridiculous. Like, I would actually rather... Think about a difficult job, tell me.
Recruitment.
I'd rather do that than be on this scaffold there. This would be at the bottom of the pile for me. Unless it was like crazy money. Like I'd go on I'm a Celebrity for like £5,000. I'd do that. £5,000.
What, that bit where they walk off the tower?
Yeah, £5,000. I'd do that. I'd do that. 5,000 UK pounds. I would happily do that. So, there's a bit of snooping going on, like you say, with Daphne and Velma. This is one of the first times as well that Fred instinctively goes with Daphne exclusively. But then there's a bit of some research going on, and Velma goes snooping for some old witch, basically.
Yeah, so the girls discovered there was a house that was knocked down where this is about to be built. But, interesting turn of events, that house was moved. How did they move that house, JayBee? It's not exactly a little chalet, is it?
They do that a lot. You know, because America doesn't really have much of a history.
Careful.
Well, no. In terms of like, you think about it's. Look, it does. No. I mean, okay. What I mean is, you Jesus. See, this is not professional. You hear stories of like the 40s or whenever it was. About Columbo, he set off in a boat to find America, right?
But do you hear stories about a mass fog, JayBee?
But he was a modern man-ish visiting America. What I mean is, when you think about England, and again, you know what I mean, I'm like the India side of things, so I'm not going, oh, England's the best. It's just a lot older. You hear about dirty people playing tennis with snake skins. You hear about Motte and Bailey castles. That's what I'm talking about. So because America doesn't really have those ancient castles, a lot of the times when they do visit a castle in Scooby, this was brought over from England, brick by brick. So it's, if I can believe that, which I don't really, but if they can get away with that, I can believe that they moved some cottage.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
I had a hard time believing that this was moved.
Me too. Well, it's like up, isn't it? They could be like up. They could have invented it.
Maybe. Okay, so they meet Ebenezer's I can't do that without singing.
No, but it literally
is great granddaughter.
No, stop, because it literally is the same amount of greats. Great. Oh, why did they do that? No, it is literally his great granddaughter. They should have added or removed a great. Imagine that though.
No, because this episode would have come before that song. This was 1977.
Great. So no, that's a stupid question. They're great. No. Would they have a great times 2 granddaughter by now?
Yes, because that was possibly. Who knows?
Speaking about the UK, Shaggy refers to Ebenezer as a geezer, which I thought was a UK thing. But I love the word.
I thought it was too, like a bit of like a Cockney, Londony.
Yeah, like, oh, there's some old geezer. But I don't know, I mean, let me know in the comment section. That's going to be our riveting question of the day. Do you use the word geezer? This is actually a shambles of an episode.
What's happened?
This is a shambles.
I told you I was too tired for this. You're getting like, I'm like, not me.
No, this is a shambles. But here's an interesting thing. So, Shaggy and Scooby find a book of spells which supposedly turns people into real, genuine monsters. And the designs that they morph into reminds me a little bit of the Goblin King, but it's kind of interesting to note that there's no indication that that wasn't real. So this could have been our first official journey into the supernatural, which is, I think, interesting. Because they'd never do that thing where they try and explain it away. I guess they do frame it as a joke. Ooh, but that's also interesting.
I guess it was before they cared about that.
Not only that, but the company that they're working for is Acme. Which you know from where?
Spider-Man.
No. Where do you know Acme from?
I don't know.
You said it so confidently. Spider-Man. Well, I was thinking about the Acme Corporation from Looney Tunes.
Yeah, because I've watched Looney Tunes.
We did. We watched Back in Action for the...
You know, I didn't really watch it.
You did. Did you not? With Steve Martin as the chairman of Acme.
I saw it. I was there, like I was in the room, but I wasn't watching
Okay, what did you
it.
think of Heather Locklear?
I wasn't watching it, and you're a perv.
Oh man. So,
What's this? Like, what's happening? This is literally just gone to you perving on a woman that's not even Daphne. Like, at least normally it's on topic.
no, it is on Heather Locklear is in Looney Tunes Back in Action. So,
I didn't know that was what we were reviewing.
it was my favourite part of the movie. So, we have the geezer Ebenezer, yeah, doing
What
some...
about the guys who are Ebenezer?
That's ridiculous. What the hell? The guys are Ebenezer. Okay. Okay. Can I say something positive about the series so far? Without you giggling? Oh, no one heard that. So, I love the score to Scooby Doo. I think it's iconic. You know, all the background music, like the da 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 da, and then dun, dun. Like all that ambience music. I think is fantastic. We were very lucky to be treated to it in the Where Are You era, and also throughout the new Scooby Doo movies. But I thought it was a refreshing change of pace to have different background music in the Scooby Doo show, because I don't think it is as iconic. Like, I'd never associate the background music to this episode anyway exclusively to Scooby Doo. Like, it's not, oh, that's the Scooby Doo score. Like, I couldn't pick it out of, you know, like in like a quiz or something. But I do appreciate that it switches up the scene enough to stand on its own 2 feet, to the point where you do get a new creepy score and a new mystery solving score.
Mm-hmm.
So I did really, really appreciate the change of music.
Then the gang find a lens.
What lens?
The lens that allows them to see light at night.
Oh yeah, that was weird. What was that? Was that like a lunar radar thing? I didn't like that, but I thought it was interesting enough.
It would have been enough if it was just a strong microscope. No, it shows them cracking the safes. It's how they knew how to open them, and the reason they didn't want the building to be built. As always, it comes into some form of property. The reason they didn't want it to be built was because it would have blocked their view of the combinations.
Guys are Ebenezer.
That wasn't even that funny.
It is interesting because I think this is one of the more ridiculous Scooby conclusions.
It's one of the most crazy reviews we've done.
But at the same time, I can kind of see it. You know, if people have their safe just out and about, and you've got the means to look into another building.
But who puts their safe next to a window?
Well, it's a city, isn't it? It's all window.
No,
it's a big skyscraper.
You hide a safe, no?
I mean, me personally, I'd hide it behind a portrait.
Exactly, that's what people do. Or I know when I was younger, my parents had one built into a closet.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Do they still have it?
You just don't have it out on display.
Or I'd put it under the toilet, because who would look under the toilet? And there'd be stuff on it, poured on it on the daily. So it wouldn't be worth it to go in there. That's where I'd hide it, either under the toilet or behind a picture. Or I'd hide it.
I'd put it behind that Gala poster, but you'd cry every time we had to move it.
No, I was gonna say I'd put it behind the Gala poster, because if they had to destroy it to get into the safe, I'd be more upset about the poster than whatever they stole. Therefore, I'm protecting myself emotionally.
Okay. Smash or pass?
You know what? This high-rise hair razor, me personally, I give this a smash. I thought it was delightful. It didn't break any new ground as such. But I don't think it was trying to. It wasn't trying to be the reboot that What's New was trying to be. Or, you know what I mean? The switch up the scene like Mystery Incorporated and Be Cool would later go on to be. This was just good, classic, old-fashioned fun. And I smash it. What about you, Millie? Will you be watching High Rise Hair Razor again?
I'd certainly say it raised the standards from the previous series.
Did it raise your hair?
And so I certainly enjoyed it more than I'd say I enjoyed any episode really last series. It was really good. It's the first one that was like a memorable moment from my childhood, and like I think like because of the memory loss thing I have as well, if I can physically remember something, it kind of shows how much more poignant it was. Do you know what I mean? And so to remember certain parts of this showed that this was certainly a standout episode, both for me as a child, but also I do think the quality's just been improved considerably. So for me, it's a definite smash.
I like that a lot. So unanimous smash for high rise hair razor.
And for Ebenezer.
And for Ebenezer. I always called it high rise hellraiser there. So we do believe that the next review we'll be doing is the Fiesta host is an Aztec ghost. Gonna be an interesting one, so we can't wait to bring that to everyone. But please do confirm that in the comment section. Woo. Now, of course, community news. So much stuff is coming out about a possible crypto movie. And speaking about high rise, I've forgotten the title, but I know it has high rise in it. The Haunted High Rise. And we're going to cover that on the channel. We've already made a few videos about it now. So keep subscribed, and we're going to keep on doing more content around that. Plus weekly interviews, which I suspect when we do review the Fiesta host as an Aztec ghost, we're going to be dropping that in the community news section of that as well. Because no one will expect it. There's not one person in this comment section right now that will guess who it is. It's controversial. It's crazy, and it might even be our last interview ever. So who knows? What do you think, Millie? Can you guess who it is?
Who what is?
The next interview.
No.
Oh, so not even Millie can guess. How mad is that? So if you do want to see that and so much more, then please like, comment, and subscribe.
JayBee and Milly.